To a child with a hammer, all the world is a nail. And nowhere is this figure of speech given more validation than in the rampant overuse of feminist gender theory on the internet, including today's gem of a blog post, Stop Saying I Have a Boyfriend, whose main idea is, of course, lifted from a Tumblr comment. Male privilege is I have a boyfriend being the only thing that can actually stop someone from hitting on you because they respect another male-bodied person more than they respect your rejection/lack of interest. This amazingly puts into one sentence what I have been attempting to explain to ex-boyfriends and friends, male and female, for years, mostly unsuccessfully. The idea that a woman should only be left alone if she is taken or spoken for completely removes the level of respect that should be expected toward that woman. So the argument is that claiming to have a boyfriend is so successful at deflecting romantic interests because men respect men way more than they respect women. To such an extent, in fact, that men will respect another man who isn't even there over a woman who is standing right in front of them saying no. My Captain Obvious costume is still at the cleaners, so you'll just have to imagine that I'm wearing it when I say, the reason why this works is not because men respect men so much more than they respect women, but because by saying this, you make the man's goal seem pretty much impossible. Here's a woman who you thought was single, but it turns out she already has a male partner. How can you, a complete stranger, realistically compete with someone who she already knows and likes? You can't! Which is why you move on once you learn this information. Generally speaking, if you're trying to sell someone something, the biggest roadblock to that goal is, I can't. I already have one. Like if I'm trying to sell you a car and you want to convince me that you won't buy, the best thing you can say is, I can't buy, I already have a car. However, if you say something like, oh well, I'm just not interested in that car, all that does is make me curious to understand why you're not interested, in the hopes that I can remedy that concern and change your mind. But what's even more interesting is the author then goes on to say that the second best way to deflect suitors is to claim that you're a lesbian. So, does that mean that men respect lesbians a lot more than they respect straight women? You know, you're hitting on a girl at a bar, she says she's a lesbian, and then you go, oh God, I am so sorry, I did not mean to treat you with such disrespect as I would have a lowly straight woman. Forgive me your lesbianness. Of course, the real reason why feigning lesbianism works is because it makes the men think that their goal has been placed well outside of reality. Imagine trying to sell someone a bicycle only to learn that they have one leg. Sure, they could still use it, but they're not going to have fun with it. And think about this. If I were to hit on someone who I thought was a woman but turns out is actually a man, and I backed off once I learned this, do I back off because I suddenly respect them so much because they're actually a man? Or do I back off because I just don't like dick?